Today is Thursday, April 19th, 2018. This is Lou with Lyft, bringing you another episode of whatever I'm going to ultimately call this thing. Let's just call it great information for right now. Once again, if you're listening to this podcast, I guess I'll call it, it's because I was a part of helping you get signed in with Lyft. I've been here for some of you to answer your questions, and I want to continue to encourage those of you who have not to get out and get your rides in. And for those of you who have gotten your rides in and really understand what that experience is, to encourage you to do a little bit more. So guys, here, I'm going to give you information that's going to get you your first 5 rides tonight, tomorrow, or Saturday, or Sunday, whichever day you decide. For those of you who are going after your 50 rides, I'm going to show you a plan, or better, I'm going to give you a framework, and within that framework between today and Sunday, you can get your 50 rides in. It's highly realistic. So as I do this, I guess I'll get a little more structure to how I'm going to do it, but the most important thing for now was to just get the information out and to hopefully add to what you're doing, or to give you a little more confidence. Again, I've been a driver with Lyft for over 4 years now. I've seen the ups, I've seen the not so ups. I've seen a lot with this, and I still come out on the back end and with much gratitude for the opportunity that Lyft presented, simply with my vehicle and my time. And I took those two things, and I've been able to keep some dreams alive and continue to do good, you know? So guys, let me get into it. So this weekend, like many weekends, as we always say as drivers, there's always something going on in Nashville. And this weekend is no different. So remember last week, if you listened in, I told you about on Thursdays. Thursday is that day when people go out to dinner. Today's going to be just the same. You're going to see that. But in addition, there's some events going on around town. There's some shows at the Ryman throughout the weekend. And there's some shows at Grand Ole Opry. So if you considered getting across to Opryland, to the hotel, over to the Opryland, the event space, that's also a nice little pocket. You know, sometimes I would take a Friday and I would get over to Opryland about 8:45, 9 o'clock, right when the mall is closing. And I'd see a good bit of, I'd get some rides. Sometimes I get rides of people leaving from there going downtown and things like that. That's another little piece of hip pocket stuff that I've done before that I'm here passing on to you. So guys, don't tell everybody that, but 9 o'clock, I'd be around the hotel. I'd be around Opryland, near the backside of the mall, or just in that area around 9. People are going to request Lyft rides who got to the mall, especially those who may have come in town, gone to the mall, and when the mall closes, they're going to head back to the hotels from which they came. And that could be a nice ride or two for some of you guys. So that's going to go on tonight. Good night. Weather's not bad. It's a little cool, but it's got a good energy about it. The city's got a good energy to it. On tomorrow, Friday, 420, which is significant to a lot of people. I know what 420 is, but I'm not that guy. But it's still beautiful for those who for that's a significant thing. And there's actually a hemp fest, a 420 hemp fest. I'm reading from Google, happening in town. But most importantly, tomorrow the Predators play at 8:30 p.m. There's going to be traffic before the game for people traveling to the Predators game. There's going to be traffic during the game with people getting out and about on Friday night. There's going to be traffic, obviously, after the game, once the game lets out. And if it's not raining, and even if it is raining, you're going to have people who are going to be on Broadway, who are hanging out, who at various times are going to start dripping away, leaving Broadway, taking Lyft rides to get home or get back to their hotels, okay? Saturday, this coming Saturday, which would be the 21st, there's a lot of stuff happening in town, guys. There's the Rites of Passage, which is a spring concert over at Vanderbilt. It's National Earth Day. There are going to be some events happening over at Centennial Park. I believe there's a festival happening in East Nashville. At Severe Park in the 12 South area. Something that's kid-centered. I've just been flashing through things, and guys, as I continue doing this, and it adds to what you're doing, I'll have much more structure and maybe have a list of events to sort of spew you or to feed your interest to get out and drive. Tim Allen is in concert. at the Ryman on Saturday as well. So there's this phenomenon that happens in town. And again, let me give you this piece from my years of knowledge, where the mid-size, and it's not always the main event spaces, Ryman, Bridgestone, Skirmahorn, amphitheater, things like that. But there are many times when all of these smaller event spaces have something going on, and that's going to cause an uptick in your rides. And guys, those of you who, for whatever reason, choose not to drive at all this weekend between now and Sunday, where you could get a lot of rides in, I promise you, take time during those evenings just to open up the Lyft app to look and see if there are any hot areas, and look and see if that prime time is on in any of those areas. And you see what I'm talking about, that the traffic is what's going to drive the demand for cars. And there's a lot of things going on in town on Saturday. So, and Sunday, guys, is just another great day to get out and spend the day of it. Hopefully the weather's great, even if it's raining, as I gave you guys a great nugget of information about last Saturday, what happens when it rains. Rides go up. The demand goes way up when it rains. Okay? So, guys, if I were a person who were looking to get my 5 rides, I could get that done tonight. No problem. I could go out tomorrow and get that done in maybe an hour and a half. Okay, especially with the traffic, the demand for the Preds game, for people going to the game and things like that. And so let me go back and share once again where I would hang out if I'm a new driver. First off, if I'm a new driver, I'm going to make my way downtown. But before I head into the city, who for those who don't live there, I'm going to turn my app on while I'm at home. And I'm going to sit for a few minutes to see if I can get a ride that's going to take me into the city. In my mind, that's somebody that's paying for the gas to get me into downtown. Once I'm in that downtown area, and I'm just going to consider that 440 loop, here are once again where you're going to find passengers. Now, you'll find passengers everywhere, but I'm saying this specifically to you, Joe or Jane, new driver who's never done ride sharing before, who, in my opinion, you need to have some early victories. I remember turning that app on the first time 4 years ago, saying to myself, okay, somebody's going to request a ride, right, and I'm going to get this alert, right, and I'm going to pick them up, right, and I'm going to take them where they're going to, right, and they're going to pay me, right. Of course that's going to happen. And then I got a ride request, and I picked up my passenger, and I dropped him off, and I made about $8 on that ride. And I was like, this thing really works. This is me telling you, but you have the opportunity to go out and see for yourself and make that happen. So forgive the length of this. I tried to keep this between 5 and 7 minutes, but let me go over quick where I would hang out. I would hang out in East Nashville. Pick a place. You can go up and down Main Street. You can go hang out in the Eastland area where Jenny's Ice Cream is and such. I need to be asking for sponsorships, right? Where Jenny's Ice Cream is. You can hang out in the Five Points area. You can hang out over near Shelby. Let's leave East Nashville. You've got the Germantown area over there, just off of Jefferson Street. You got that area. You've got the area across the street from there where Buchanan Street, Arthur Avenue is, where there are a lot of people who make use of the service over there. You've got people down Charlotte who stay in some of those Airbnb locations. I'll share that tidbit next week about my Airbnb secret. You got to come back next week to check that one out. You've got Sylvan Park, you've got the Nations. Again, I'm going down Charlotte Avenue. Let me come across to Green Hills. Great place to hang out for rides. You want to hang out near the mall, hang out near Whole Foods. And again, I should be asking for endorsements. Another story, another day. Kind of joking there, guys. But in the Green Hills area, you come over, you've got the 12 South area that bleeds into the Belmont area that moves over into the all the way over to 8th Avenue. All of that is prime property when it comes to ride sharing, and all the way over and on in. So I'm sort of making a circle around the downtown area, as I call it, but this is where you want to hang out if you're new and you need to get your rides in. You're going to see an abundance of rides in these areas. So guys, this is Lou with Lyft. Hopefully this added something to you. Forgive me for the amount of time, but I just wanted to make sure I communicated everything. Again, I'm going to try to keep these between 5 and 7 minutes, but I'm hopeful that you listen to some part of this, and some part of this helps you get the success that you're looking for. Thanks, and bye for now.